On Wednesday, August 5th of this year, ZZ Top canceled a show at the Hollywood Bowl. Guitarist Billy Gibbons gave the reason as insurmountable obstacles causing the cancellation. 13 days later, their drummer of 57 years, Frank Beard, would die while in hospice care. Like bassist Dusty Hill before him, Frank played until he couldn't play anymore and went home to die. He leaves behind his wife of over 40 years, Debbie, whom he married in 1982. Their twin boys, also his daughter from a previous marriage, a couple of broken-hearted bandmates in Billy and Elwood, family members, friends, and millions of ZZ Top fans. 57 years with the same band. What a legacy he leaves for us. Frank was never the guy out front. He didn't need to be. He sat behind Billy and Dusty and then Elwood, and for all those years provided the heartbeat that those two guys played on top of. You can have a great guitar player and a great bass player, but that ZZ Top boogie doesn't work without that shuffle underneath it. Frank wasn't a flashy drummer trying to show everybody how good he was. He played what the song needed, locked in with Dusty, and together those two gave Billy Gibbons all the room in the world to do what Billy does. And when you listen back to those old records, that's Frank Beard you hear holding that whole thing together. Frank was born June 11, 1949 in the small town of Frankston, Texas. He got his start playing in bands in high school and eventually became a fixture in the Dallas music scene. And that's where he met Dusty Hill. The two played together in several groups during the 60s, including the Warlocks, American Blues, and even the infamous fake version of the Zombies that toured after the actual English psych rock group disbanded. Frank was soon to meet guitarist Billy Gibbons, who had a group called the Moving Sidewalks. Billy decided he wanted to go more boogie and blues-based rock instead of the psychedelic rock he'd been playing with the Sidewalks. Connected by a mutual acquaintance in Dallas, Billy and Frank met up, jammed, and soon formed the initial lineup that evolved into ZZ Top. Of course, since they had been playing together, Frank brought Dusty Hill along, and after a nice long boogie blues jam, ZZ Top was born. As I said, Frank would sit behind the drums with ZZ Top for 57 years, and like bassist Dusty Hill, Frank would sit there until he couldn't sit no more. Will the band go on? I would think so. Billy is cut from the same mold as Dusty and Frank, and he's going to play until he can't. Now, will it be the same without Frank? I doubt it. As it wasn't the same without Dusty, and that isn't a knock on Elwood at all. It's just, I've been a ZZ Top fan since I heard their first album in 1971, and after over 50 years, it's hard to let go. And I'm sure some of you listening to this video right now can relate to how I feel. I guess that's one of the hard parts of getting older. The musicians we grew up listening to get older right along with us. We don't really think about it when we're young. You buy the records, go to the concerts, and somehow you just figure those guys are always going to be there. But they're not. Dusty's gone, now Frank's gone. And one day, that original ZZ Top lineup that played together for more than a half a century will belong completely to history. But we've still got the records. We can still put on Tres Hombres, Fandango, De Guayle, and any of those old albums. Turn it up, and there he'll be, sitting behind that drum kit, keeping the Texas boogie rolling. 57 years in one band. Not many musicians can say that. Rest easy, Frank, and thanks for keeping the beat all those years.